This is everything I ate in New York City with prices and my personal reviews. Every New Yorker has a story of how they got here, and I think in the same way, every restaurant, every stand, every recipe has its own story too. Thinking about where these flavors came from, how they traveled across oceans, changed, and landed in our plates makes every bite feel a little more special. We went to New York City this summer in 2025. I know this is the worst thing to do, but as a Japanese, I'm always converting the prices into Japanese yen in my head, which gives me a heart attack every time I look at the receipt. The inflation and weak yen is a combination of disaster, but I knew it would be a while before our next visit here, so we tried to visit and enjoy as many restaurants as possible. If you have any recommendations for New York City, please share them in the comments. Thank you so much for stopping by and hope you enjoyed this video. After a very long 10+ hour journey, we finally made it to New York City. We went to get food right away and headed to Grey Dog, which was a couple blocks from our hotel. When I came here on our previous trip, I remember how I enjoyed their brunch menu. I love their cozy interior with warm lights, brick walls, a fireplace. When I come here, it feels like sitting in someone's living room. I wanted something fresh after the airplane food, so I ordered a Caesar salad, and this was by far the worst salad I've ever had. There was not a single element of a good Caesar. The romaine lettuce was so thin with zero crunch to it, no anchovies, no parmesan or egg yolk creaminess. It was like eating a bowl of soulless feathers. The next day, however, made my day so much better because we started with incredible bagels at Apollo. When you step in, it feels like you're transported to an old school bagel shop. The menu is minimal and the shop is small and it's a grab and go style. I cannot believe my husband never took me here before now that he told me it's one of his favorite bagels in the city, and I craved it every day after. Just like coffee, I know that everyone has their own preference and opinion of what makes a good bagel. For me, Apollo bagels are by far my favorite. They don't have a wide variety of spreads because these bagels truly speak for themselves. The texture is crunchy on the outside, chewy but light in the inside. The toppings are fresh and every bite just made me so happy. Their freshly squeezed orange juice is also a must. It's this perfect combination of sour, citrusy flavor, and you can feel that vitamin C just rushing through your whole body from one sip. We then went to Blue Bottle. We always come back to Blue Bottle because it's just consistent and we get exactly what we expect. It's never fully packed. I love the atmosphere and it's very spacious for a stroller. We tried the lavender yuzu latte and nothing about it was lavender or yuzu. Definitely not worth $8, but my latte was good as always and it helped me walk through the insane heat this day. This whole week we stayed in New York City was absolute torture. We could only stay outside for a while in the intense heat, so this day we decided to buy food and bring it back to our hotel, so we headed to Eataly. They aim to provide Italian food experience. It has high-end Italian markets. You can find fresh pasta, cheese, meats, wines, with multiple restaurants inside, and we got a bunch of things to keep in the fridge in our hotel to snack on later. My son chugged this milk in a few seconds. You can see how hot it was from his pink cheeks. The shrimp platter was amazing. It was sweet and succulent and the sauce was amazing. It kept us full. The next day I had a brunch date with my sister. We walked all the way to the Lower East Side to go to Paul's Cafe. It was opened by a Moroccan owner and they have this huge menu behind the counter offering an extensive variety of options from superfood bowls, smoothies, fresh juices, and lots of yummy looking pastries. We got an avocado sandwich and a French toast. The sandwich was amazing. It was so well toasted, just how I like it. The salmon, capers with avocado was just perfect match. And then this huge French toast. It was so big, we took most of it home. When do you ever get something bigger in portion than expected in New York City? Everything was delicious, and I highly recommend this hidden cafe. Whenever we visit my sister, she always babysits her son so we can go on a dinner date. Literally the best aunt ever. My husband took me to Jungsik for our belated anniversary dinner. This was my second time, and I think his fifth, but it's always such a unique experience to have Korean fusion in a fine dining setting. Out of all the dishes, my favorite dish is this banchan, which is a combination of small bites. Each has this burst of incredible flavors and textures. I will make a whole video of this entire course separately because it deserves it. The first dish and the octopus were my favorite. Jungsik calls their style New Korean, and the idea is to reimagine Korean dishes and flavors with a modern and fine dining touch. Fairly soon after opening their doors in 2012, they won their first Michelin star and then 2 stars the next year, and finally their third in 2024. There was so much information packed for each dish, and it was such a beautiful experience. Happy anniversary! My best friend took me to Nami Nori a few years ago, and I fell in love with the place. We initially booked 2 seats at the counter, which I highly recommend if you're going with a few people, but my sister and her husband were able to join, so we asked to change for a table. Even though everything was booked for the entire day, there was a last-minute cancellation when we got there, and we all got to sit together, and my toddler just fell asleep, so everything just fell together perfectly. Nami Nori is a temaki bar specializing in open-style temaki. The rolls are between $5 to $7 each. You can order from their set menu, and I highly recommend to get the furikake fries with mentaiko mayo and the starter set. My starter set was 10 out of 10. All of the ingredients were incredibly fresh. I love how they keep their seaweed super crispy, just like the onigiris at Japanese konbinis. The higher price signature set that my sister got was not worth it. There was one temaki just with cucumber, and some flavors were off. That's why I'm giving it 4 stars, but it's a great place for a temaki date or a fun brunch experience. After our amazing brunch, we walked around and needed a break from the heat, so we stopped by 7 Grams, which is an independent coffee roaster and bakery. They pay homage to Italian standard for perfect espresso shot, which is made using exactly 7 grams of ground premium coffee. It was my first time to visit, and I can't rate this place because I didn't get coffee, I got lemonade, but they offer lots of different kinds of cookies. I got an oatmeal cookie, which was super sweet and too dry, but their classic chocolate chip cookie was chunky and really nice. The next morning, we went to get breakfast, and I wanted to go to an American diner, so I found this place walking distance from our hotel. This restaurant is renowned for its commitment to gluten-free dining, and they serve American comfort foods. I had to get their signature fried chicken and waffle served with habanero honey, adding this spicy kick to the dish. The chicken was crispy and so tender and juicy in the inside. The avocado toast was nothing special, but this dish that I had was totally worth it. Our waitress was very unfriendly, and it always baffles me that you have to pay 20% for tip, even towards bad service. But apart from that one waiter, I really enjoy the ambience and the food here. I'm not sure how I had any space left after that huge breakfast, but we went to Culture Espresso to get some cookies to enjoy later in the day. They won first place in a blind taste test among 40 New York City bakeries, and out of millions of cookies I've had, this was my favorite. It has this chewy texture, generous amount of chocolate chunks, slightly crispy edges, and that warm gooiness inside. It's just a must-try dessert. The next day, we went back to our morning bagel routine and got bagels and wraps from Schmear. They have a very dense and tough chewiness, and they offer house-made cream cheese, which is applied generously, and I love it with the raisin bagels. After stuffing ourselves with New York City bagels, cookies, and American food, we were craving for Chinese, so we went to Szechuan Gourmet, where we also came on our last trip. This restaurant's commitment to quality and authenticity has earned its place in the Michelin Guide. And I'm not surprised because every time we go here, there are quite a lot of Chinese customers. We went slightly earlier than 12, and we were able to find a seat, but in a few minutes, it was completely packed. I love their hot and sour soup. It was pretty thick but delicious with that spice citrusy, tangy, and umami flavors, which goes so well with the crunchy bamboo shoots and wood ear mushrooms. The silky tofu was also delicious in the soup. I recommend the pork skin with veggies, crispy chicken. The fried rice was way too oily, so we unfortunately left half of it. The xiaolongbao is also a must. It has a thicker skin here, but it's packed with that seasoned pork, and that rich, savory broth goes so well with the soy sauce and chopped ginger. All the dishes are mouth-watering with that mixed tongue-tingling Szechuan peppers, garlic, ginger, chili oils, and it just satisfied our Chinese food cravings. My sister told me that there are a lot of areas, especially around Flushing, Queens, that has a lot of good Chinese food, and I hope I can explore it someday. With tip, 120. Walking back to the hotel in the extreme heat was so hard. My poor toddler was suffering too. So we stopped by Milk Bar. I love their birthday cake, which we got for my sister's birthday a few years ago. This time I got the cereal milk ice cream. I love the sweet, toasty flavor of cereal-soaked milk with the cornflake crunch on top. But I cannot believe this tiny thing is $9. I can get a whole lunch set in Japan for that. But I'm happy I got to enjoy it with my son for his first time.
오이시? 마마 와? 맛있어.
For breakfast this day, I wanted to try another diner nearby the hotel called Nomad Diner. It was tucked behind a hotel lobby and had this tropical ambience. They offer basic American breakfast. The pancakes were very soft and buttery. It was delicious. We had some scrambled eggs and ham for my son. Everything was pretty good, but very average, nothing that memorable.
Whole milk. So we have one iced chai latte smooth with oat milk, and then
we then went to get coffee to cool down and start our very special and busy day. My sister got married this day. Congratulations, Mana and Mark. We love you guys. After the ceremony, my brother-in-law took the whole family to the Seafire Grill for a celebration brunch. The interior is very elegant and sophisticated. They're renowned for its contemporary American cuisine, operated by the famous Benjamin Restaurant Group. They offer amazing seafood and steak options.
Yeah.
This lobster mac and cheese I got for my son was amazing. I loved it. I don't have footage, but my steak and dessert was also phenomenal.
Maybe we have to do it. めっちゃおしゃれここ。で、そう思った。3人で写真撮ろう。
My Asian food cravings were still hitting hard, so the next day for dinner we went to yakitori Nonono, which is a contemporary Japanese grill. I was drooling all over the menu. Everything looked so good. Whenever I go to izakayas, I love getting this seaweed salad with the creamy sesame dressing, and oh my god, you have no idea how we Japanese love a thick, juicy, flavorful eggplant. The eggplants you get abroad are so tasteless and the texture is so different from the ones you get in Japan, but these were prepared just like the ones back home. All the yakitoris were so good. I loved the tsukune and also enjoyed this chicken yakitori with crispy skin. The smoky charcoal and caramelized fat were just perfect match made in heaven. I haven't had yakitori in so long, and being homesick for a while made this dinner so memorable, bringing back the flavors of Japan. After the incredible dinner, my sister wanted to get ice cream, so we headed to Sundaes Best. The ambience is stylish and playful, which matches their very unique and creative Asian-inspired flavors. It doesn't just end with an ordinary matcha flavor, but they also have miso caramel, jeju mandarin, and lots of others I've never seen or tasted before. The matcha that my sister got was super creamy and almost buttery, so if you like that kind of heaviness or richness, you will love this place like her. Starting our day with Blue Bottle, I didn't have time to give my son breakfast, so I just grabbed their banana bread, which was so oily. There was no nuttiness or cinnamon or nutmeg flavor to it. It was just horrible.
So it was 8-ounce cold milk, 12-ounce.
For lunch, I ordered Luke's Lobster. Living in Prague, I can't get good seafood or ever find lobsters, so this felt like a treasure box of the sea. Even though the trio set looks so tiny, it's stuffed with lobster, crab, and shrimp, and you can also smell the ocean from its fresh quality. Each bite is hugged by their light, fluffy bun toasted with butter, and I'm always amazed by their quality. For our very last dinner with my sister, she took us to an Italian restaurant, La Pecora, Bianca. Even though she called 15 minutes before we headed there, we got a table, and we were so lucky because the whole restaurant and outside seating were completely full, even though it was on a weekday around 6 p.m. The gazpacho was very thick and creamy. My favorite appetizer was this ricotta with honey and chili flakes. It was very fresh.
Yeah, just outside, yeah.
They featured delicious house-made pastas. This rigatoni and vodka sauce with burrata had this comforting aroma of tomatoes, cream. It was rich but not too heavy, and it went very well with the acidity of tomatoes. They gave us generous amount of parmesan, which enhanced all the flavors, and I think this was one of the best pastas I've had. The cacio e pepe was simple yet super appetizing. The nutty and salty pecorino romano cheese and the cracked black pepper added a warmth and spice. The pasta was so chewy and delicious. The campanella pasta with lemon and roasted shrimp had this bright citrusy flavor with a more subtle taste. The bell-shaped campanella has these ruffled edges that trap the sauce and seasoning so beautifully. Of course, we had to fully stuff ourselves with dessert, so I told my sister I wanted Magnolia cupcakes, but she insisted we go to Buttercup Bake Shop, saying that Magnolia Bakery is overrated. And we walked for blocks in the humid hot night. The shop was super cute inside. Their cupcakes and sweets were adorable. They looked like little toys, but the cupcakes were horrible. It was dry and the frosting was hard. It was not good at all. I had vanilla and chocolate. I could not finish both of them. Why do they have such good rating on Google Maps? So obviously the next day we had to get Magnolia cupcakes before our flight and went all the way to Hudson Yards just for it. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually to see my sister one last time, although we already said our goodbyes last night thinking we would not have time till we had to leave, but I could not leave without seeing her and without those cupcakes. I got the velvet one, but I didn't like it. It's always good to stick with the basic simple flavors like vanilla, which is my favorite, which I went back to get more. I brought the Magnolia cupcakes all the way back in my backpack to Prague on the 15-hour travel. I had them the next day and they were still so fresh and delicious. For our very last meal, we didn't have any time to go inside a restaurant. We grabbed Shake Shack and ate it at a bench in Hudson Yards. It was delicious and the best way to conclude our New York City feast journey. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. See you in my next video.